So I've been working on my son's 2008 Honda Accord, and my son shared with me that one other problem, the gas door falls out, and sure enough, press the button and the door just completely fell out of the car. So I have looked around at salvage yards, but my problem was none of the local guys had my color, and I didn't really want to get into a paint job, so I tore this apart just to see what I was into, and I'm going to attempt to fix it. If I had a welder, I think this would be pretty straightforward. I don't, so we'll see what happens. But so this is the bracket, and it just held in with 2 bolts. You kind of have to wrestle it out from the car. And then the hinge, the door itself, is just held on with this 1/8 inch pin. It does have shouldered on both sides, so I'm going to cut it here and pull it out, and I'm not quite sure how they achieved that little shoulder. I think it's a little press-on nut, but this is what it is, and you can just see the welds. It was just welded right there, and the welds broke. So I'm going to attempt to fix it without welding, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, I didn't video myself doing each of these steps, but I think it'll be pretty self-explanatory. So I did have to cut the original pin in the middle because it does have that fixed head on it, and I just was able to pull the parts out that way. I bought some 1/8 inch rod. It's cold rolled steel at Home Depot. They had it in a foot section. So what I ended up doing after tearing it apart, I sanded down all the old welds, got a clean surface. The pin material, I ended up grinding a flat on each end. I used, these are 632 nuts that I drilled out with an 1/8 inch drill bit, and it worked out to be a perfectly sized spacer. And then I drilled and tapped 1032 holes at either end, and I'm using a 1032 button head, and I ended up putting a washer on there. So I think you can see what I was going for here, and I have it clamped down, and it actually holds really well. My original intent was to do this and then to epoxy all around here, which I thought would provide most of the holding power, but realistically I think these would do it. But since I have the epoxy, that will be my next step. That's why it kind of looks rough. I hit it with the Dremel just to roughen up the surface. But that's what I have so far, and I'm going to glue it next. Okay, I ended up throwing some epoxy on there. Like I said, I'm not even sure I needed it. I think the 1032 bolts clamping it down probably would have been good enough. And again, if you have a welder, you can skip all of that and just buy yourself a short piece of 1/8 inch rod and a couple spacers and tack it on. So I'll reassemble tomorrow, but I feel like it's gonna work perfectly fine. So here's the completed assembly. There's the 2 mounting bolts, and when you pull this apart, you also need to remove that screw right there. That's an 8mm. These are 10, because this black, this kind of got to pull this out of the way a little bit. But yeah, looks like it's gonna work fine.